Visuals now coming in, the live visuals from inside. All eyes are on what will be the big messaging that will be coming out by the Quad, the nations that form the Quad, and will there be some joint statement, a press conference that is likely as well. We'll try and connect with Maha Siddiqui in just a bit. Let me bring in Ambassador Prabhu Dayal. Ambassador Dayal, China is engaged in severe economic and trade coercive practices against Australia. We have seen that aggression along the LAC and the Galwan clashes, and then China, US have been in a long tariff battle as well. So all these countries have a common adversary in China. Would you say that this meeting clearly will be about checking China's dominance?
Well, checking China's dominance in one way or another has always been the rationale for Quad, at least from 2017 onwards, when Quad was revived from its dormant status. Now, the Trump administration, I understand, was very clear to draw India into a sort of a military configuration. On the other hand, India was always at pains to point out that it does not see the Quad as a military configuration. It's a security dialogue. In other words, a very loose arrangement. Now, it's the media which has been saying that America has closed the doors on India as far as AUKUS is concerned. India never wanted to be a part of AUKUS. India doesn't want any military alliance with Western countries. India does want a good understanding. As far as India's problems with China are concerned, yes, they are very serious. But it is very clear also that we have to sort out these problems ourselves. We will buy and acquire equipment from whichever sources suit us. But we realize that when it comes to taking on China, we will have to do it ourselves, and we will do it ourselves. Moreover, we can do it ourselves. Of course, as far as these countries are concerned, US and UK, as the professor already pointed out, they have had a close military relationship. Australia, for a variety of reasons, is being drawn in because Australia needs nuclear submarines, which the United States is willing to give it. Now, India's defense needs are being met from a variety of sources, from Russia, from France, from Israel, and of course from the United States. But I repeat, India did not want Quad to be a military configuration.
Yes.
It does not want to be a part of any other military configuration. And it's only media speculation that India has been left out of this.
Yes. So we are seeing the External Affairs Minister, National Security Advisor and Foreign Secretary of India present in that meeting, which has just begun. You can see the flags of the four countries, United States, India, Australia and Japan. Remember, these countries did connect online from their various nations back in March as well, and they agreed to cooperate on delivering 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines to Asian countries by the end of 2022. This is the first in-person meeting which is taking place in Washington, D.C. And of course, this is happening amidst the fallout from a controversial new global joint security pact that has been announced only last week, which is AUKUS. Let me bring General Sivach now. General Sivach, of course, the Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister is likely to be very mindful. It's a tightrope walk for India, particularly because of China here. We share a long border with China, and there has been a bitter dispute at several points recently, and troops from the two nations were involved in that deadly clash that happened last year as well. Would you then say that the joint statement is something that you'll be waiting and watching out for?
Absolutely. You see, my point is that India has to be very careful because India shares the border with a very long border, almost about 4,005 kilometers with China. We are the only, which is the closest neighbor to China. So therefore, we have to be mindful for any action which and reaction which can take place. Now, as far as the Quad is concerned, remember it has got a basic principle that it should be free, open, and inclusive, with three tenets of principle: that freedom of navigation, rule-based international order, maintaining territorial integrity and sovereignty of all nations, including minor island nations. So my point is, if this is the charter which they have made for themselves, then without any teeth, it is very difficult to force upon China to follow the rule of the game. How do you ensure that the China is now following whatever is the rule of the order? That is what the mute question is. To me, it looks like that in time to come, the Quad now. Whatever you say, the Malabar exercise is now looking as if a part of Quad, and Malabar exercise indirectly is putting indirect pressure on China Navy, that the four navies of the large democracy of the world are there to challenge them. But if it is not there, then the point comes is how do we challenge China? How do we stop
okay,
this
we can
aggressive
see now Prime Minister Narendra Modi arriving for the Quad meeting. President Joe Biden is also present, and the premiers of other two countries, including Australia and Japan, present in that Quad meeting. Let's listen in now.
By saying I'm honored to welcome Prime Minister Morrison, Prime Minister Modi, Prime Minister Suga, and to the White House for the first in-person meeting of the Quad we've had. This grouping of democratic partners who share a worldview and have a common vision for the future, coming together to take on key challenges of our age, from COVID to climate to emerging technologies. It embodies an approach I spoke of at the UN earlier this week. When we met 6 months ago, we made concrete commitments to advance our shared and positive agenda for a free and open Indo-Pacific. Today, I'm proud to say that we're making excellent progress. Our vaccine initiative is on track to produce an additional 1 billion doses of vaccine in India to boost global supply. We're taking action on climate change with new partnership toward a zero emissions shipping. And today, we're also launching a new Quad fellowship for students from each of our Quad countries to pursue advanced degrees in leading STEM programs here in the United States. It represents an investment in the leaders, innovators, and pioneers of tomorrow. In sum, we're four major democracies with a long history of cooperation. We know how to get things done, and we are up to the challenge. And I'm looking forward to our discussion today, and I thank you. And now I yield to my friend from India,